At first, it's all falling apart now for the Albanese government. It's getting ratty, it's getting abusive. You know, there was a philosopher, Schopenhauer, who wrote a book on the 38 ways to win an argument even when you were actually wrong. Number 38 of those 38 dirty tricks, the last one to try when everything else had failed, was abuse. And abuse was all that Treasurer Jim Chalmers had left for Opposition Leader Peter Dutton in a big speech last night.
He is the most divisive leader of a major political party in Australia's modern history. And not by accident, but by choice. At a time when most sane people see political divisiveness around the world and want to reject it, he wants to embrace it. It's the only plank in his political platform. He divides deliberately, almost pathologically. And this is worse than disappointing. It's dangerous.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese kept up this attack today, not quite daring to call Dutton dangerous, but still claiming he was divisive.
Peter Dutton has promoted division his entire political career. He always looks for what will divide Australians rather than what will bring Australians together.
There you go, two guys just getting desperate. But after all, what else do they have now except abuse? The economy, I mean, we're actually getting poorer per person. Inflation getting worse. Their global warming schemes. Look at your power bills. Our debt, well, that's $1 trillion and rising, with Chalmers admitting to years of budget deficits now to come. And it's even now letting in people from Palestine, even if they say they support Hamas terrorists. And last week, they cancelled a $1 billion gold mine because of supposedly secret Aboriginal business that even the traditional owners say is fake. So, no wonder they've got nothing left except this smear. Peter Dutton is divisive, he's dangerous. A Labor MP even added the other day, racist. Well, as if. But this word divisive, you know what it really means? It means you don't agree with Anthony Albanese. That's what he calls divisive. So, Peter Dutton thinks Albanese is spending too much. That's divisive. Peter Dutton thinks, well, bringing in Palestinians from terrorist-run Gaza on tourism visas without even an interview, that's wrong. Divisive. In fact, that's divisive, even though a poll now shows that more Australians agree with Dutton than Albanese. So maybe it's Albanese who's the divisive one. In fact, he is, this hypocrite. How dare Albanese accuse Dutton of being divisive when it was Albanese who last year pushed for the voice, a plan to literally divide us by race in the Constitution. That's divisive. Most Australians thought so too. 60% said no to Anthony Albanese's division. So Albanese really is about the last person in this country to call anyone divisive. Division has been in this man's political DNA for years. Do you remember back when Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd, their supporters in the then Labor government, were at each other's throats, and Albanese said enough. All he ever wanted to do was to fight Conservatives instead, fight Tories. Not unite the country, fight Tories.
I like fighting Tories. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, there was Labor today trying to paint Peter Dutton as a dangerous extremist just when the man was in his electorate with seniors who seemed to think he was an all right kind of guy. And Dutton's response today, calm response today, thought he detected another sign of rot in the government. Chalmers trying to out-muscle Albanese to show he could be Labor's next leader.
Now, if Australians were doing it so well and the economy was running, as great as Jim Chalmers claims it is, why is he dedicating a speech to me? It seems when you have a look at the Labor Party at the moment, you've got Tony Burke saying, look at me. You've got Bill Shorten saying, look at me. You've now got Jim Chalmers saying, look at me, which is exactly what we saw in the Rudd-Gillard years.
But here's the thing. This is my last point about this word divisive. Politics in this democracy is actually about giving voters a choice. Only dictatorships don't do that, right? Dutton is giving voters a choice. It's you can have Labor's way or Coalition's way. You choose. Now, that's not divisive. That's democracy. That's choice. And you look at the polls. For many Australians now, it's actually a relief that there is another option, another way, not Labor's way. And that is what's now terrifying Albanese and Chalmers. Voters are seeing through them. And they're thinking Dutton might be the better option. So, if Albanese and Chalmers really want an end to division, it's quite simple. How about changing tack and you just agreeing with Dutton?